Welcome back to the Williams, Elleby, Howard, and Easter YouTube channel. I'm Joel, this is Chase. He has no idea what we're talking about until right now. So
this is great, yeah. We're just gonna shoot from the hip.
Today, we're gonna go over a topic that is frustrating for a lot of people. I know sometimes it seems like it's been forever since your settlement and you're waiting to get paid. So today, what we wanna do is unpack the payment timelines, the delays that we sometimes see and the frustrations that are caused, and then also kind of set some reasonable expectations for once your case resolves, how long you should expect for it to take before you can get paid.
I'll start with the premise that we want to get cases resolved just as badly as our clients do because everything's contingency, right? So we don't get paid unless you get paid. So just know, just right off the bat, most firms are motivated and are trying to get cases resolved. The first thing that always comes to mind that can kind of slow things down is really just waiting to get the check from the insurance company. A lot of times you'll agree via phone, email, fax that you've agreed on a certain number. Well, they just got to send payment. You give them payment instructions, you tell them how to make the check, you give the W-9, and then you're just waiting. Checks get lost, checks get sent to the wrong address. So that's the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah, especially in cases where the attorney doesn't include a timeline for receiving that payment, or for some reason there's a complication with that. But I think it's always a good idea to put something in there that payment is due within 3 weeks, 30 days, whatever it needs to be. Otherwise, the amount that's agreed upon will accrue interest. So that gives the other side that's writing the check some incentive to go ahead and get it done. But yeah, you do have to wait for the check to get to your attorney's office. Then they have to deposit it in their trust account. And then they're dealing with, they probably have already started dealing with it, but they're also trying to finalize different liens or bills that have to be paid out of the settlement. And there's a lot of different types of people and entities that might need to get paid. You want to go through some, Chase?
Yeah, and that really is the biggest holdup, is figuring out what other third-party lien holders, subrogation, Medicare, Medicaid, those types of entities, figuring out what they're owed, and then trying to get those amounts either reduced or settled. So first thing that comes to mind, are, especially for our older clients, is that if you have Medicare or Medicaid, those have to be resolved. And by that I mean you have to figure out what is owed. You have to figure out whether there needs to be a set aside if there's future treatment. You have to negotiate that down. You have to get the final demand amount, and you got to make sure that they get paid from the settlement as well. And that, again, that takes a lot of time depending on who the entity is.
Yeah, and sometimes the question is, well, how come you can't figure that out before the settlement? Well, a lot of times Medicare won't even tell you what the lien is or begin to negotiate with you until the settlement is agreed upon. So,
right, because they want to know the amount, right? So they're going to have to know the amount of the settlement because they will do a reduction, and the reduction is based on a formula, and part of the input of that formula is knowing the amount of the settlement. So you do have to wait and give them that information, so it can take time. But kind of keeping in line with government entities, you usually have CMS, you have Medicaid, and we have a lot of clients who've had Tricare, and Tricare is the government military insurance, and they are notorious for taking the longest amount of time when it comes to getting the lien amount that's owed and getting the case resolved. So that is by far the biggest holdup. Now, there are times where it's getting into the weeds with settlements. Like if we know the settlement's a relatively large settlement and we know that the lien amount's going to be a relatively small amount, we withhold that amount and keep it in our trust until it gets resolved, but we can always take care of other portions of the settlement while we wait. So while some of the case can be wrapped up, a portion of it will be held in escrow while we get that figured out.
Yeah. And sometimes there's other people that have to be paid back, like there's liens, could be a hospital lien. If you had a prior attorney before the one that settled your case for you, there may be a lien there. There may be other bills that need to be dealt with, or depending on what type of health insurance or health plan you have, you got to fight with them about whether they're going to be paid back, and if they are going to be paid back, negotiating the amounts and things like that. So there's a lot of things that happen on the back end of a settlement. It's not just like you go into a settlement conference or mediation and say, hey, we're going to settle this case for $100,000, and then you get the check the next day. That's not the way it works. So I would say this: when you're looking to figure out how long it's going to be until you get paid from your personal injury settlement, assume 30 days for the attorney to receive the check. Give them another 30 days, to finalize lien amounts and things of that nature. And then if you still don't have your money by then it's worth a phone call to the attorney to say, hey, just checking in, what's going on, what's the holdup on the settlement? And there may be a very valid reason. It could be a situation where there's not a valid reason, but around that 60-day mark, get in touch with your attorney and figure out what the holdup is, because most cases can go from agreeing on a settlement to disbursement of the money within 60 days.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
All right. Well, we hope this video has been helpful to you. If so, give us a thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, hit the bell, get the notifications that a new video is out. Otherwise, we will see you in a couple of weeks with some more personal injury videos.
As personal injury lawyers, we love what we do, and we're happy to share the experience we've gained in personal injury law. To help our family, friends, and YouTube subscribers, we've shared over 300 personal injury videos covering various injury topics. So if you'd like to gain more knowledge that may help protect yourself or a loved one when you're on the roads or out in public, check out our channel or view our playlist of shorts for quick personal injury tips.